Okay, hello everybody. Thank you very much for taking the time to come along and watch this webinar. If you're here live, welcome. If you're here watching it at a later time, welcome. Today you've been invited to open your mind to the idea of participating in a decentralized shopping solution. Now you might be thinking, there's a lot of shopping solutions out there. Well, there isn't one like this. And today you've been invited to participate in phase one of our initial coin offering and contributor webinar. Some people will call them a coin offering, some people will call them a crowdfunding, but either way, you're here to potentially participate in a very, very, very lucrative idea. Now, you just made a very lucrative choice. You might not know that, okay, but you did. Because the choice to come here this evening could potentially be worth £10,000 to you in the next 3 to 5 years. That's a very big statement, but you'll learn as we go through the webinar how we will make that possible. Now, what you are about to discover is a serious multi-billion pound idea. It is an absolutely huge idea, but it's an idea that has been planned perfectly to make it work, okay? Now, first of all, I want to tell you a little bit about the e-commerce industry. In 2016, the total retail sales across the globe were expected to reach $22 trillion across the world. Now, e-commerce holds a large portion of the total e-commerce volume around the world. Now, one of the most prominent e-commerce platforms at the moment is eBay Incorporated. In 2016, the total sales volume for eBay Incorporated was $84 billion, and they grossed profit that year of $8.61 billion. That's a hell of a lot of money. Now, in the same year, eBay also returned $3 billion of capital to its shareholders by repurchases or through repurchases of its common stock. E-commerce is big business. Multi-trader platforms are big business, but eBay is one of the most prominent and successful out there, also Amazon as well. But I'll focus on eBay. eBay operates in 40 global markets around the world. They have a global Alexa rank of 38. If you know anything about internet marketing, if you have an Alexa rank of 38, you've made it. They have over 14 million UK residents that use eBay each and every month, and that is only in the United Kingdom. Remember, they're active in 40 markets around the world. Over 178,000 UK residents generate an income from eBay each month. eBay is ranked number 55 on the world's highest valued brands. They got so successful pre-2002 that they purchased their own payment processor, also known as PayPal, and they purchased that for $1.5 billion in 2002. Today, PayPal is a company in its own right. It has split from eBay, and it now has a value of $49.5 billion with 169 million users around the world. Multi-trader platforms, e-commerce is big business. Now, at any one time on eBay, you will find, eBay UK, more than 10 million items for sale at any one time. And eBay receives more than 78 million visits per month to its platform. But unbeknown to most people, I believe, and we here in the team at Storzor believe, that there is a significant gap in the market because small eBay sellers can lose up to 20% of their profit to platform fees. Now, many of you might not know, but eBay can charge you 5 different ways if it chooses to, depending on what way you choose to list your items. These fees can include listing fees, final value fees, payment transaction fees. If you want extra photographs, there's more fees. If you want a nice little red box around your listing, there's more fees. And you only have to look at Google to see the level of dissatisfaction among what we call eBay's lifeblood, which is small to medium-sized sellers. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of small to medium-sized sellers on the platform who are getting squeezed out because of the amount of commission and revenue that they lose to eBay in fees. Now, small to medium-sized eBay sellers are constantly seeking a viable alternative, but the fact is there isn't one out there. let's take a quick look at the eBay fees, okay? If you don't sell an item, there's no fee, but you have already paid your listing fee, okay? If you sell an item for between 1 pence or 1 cent and $25, eBay will charge you 8.75% on the final value of that item. Anything over $25, they will charge you the 8.75 plus 3.5% of the remaining value from 25 to 1,000. And anything over $1,000, they will charge you an extra 1.5%. And they're squeezing out the small to medium-sized sellers because there's a lot of products out there. When you try and sell them, you can't make 8.75% of a margin on a product anyway. I used to be a successful power seller on eBay. I know what I'm talking about. I used to work in construction. I got fed up with it. I started an eBay store, started importing items from China, selling them. And eventually, things were good to start with, but eventually I got squeezed out because of the margins, and it just no longer became viable to run the platform. Now, the gap in the market, I believe, is created by simple corporate greed of these global giant e-commerce platforms. And a quick search on Google will prove it. Now, I searched on Google for eBay fees joke, and it returns more than 364,000 results from disgruntled independent eBay sellers. Why is eBay fees so high? Bit of a grammar issue there. This guy must be related to me. Rip off. Okay, it says down here, fees have become a joke. The word joke is putting it mildly. Okay, small to medium-sized sellers are the lifeblood of these e-commerce platforms, and they are looking for an alternative solution. So what is Storzor and what will it become? Well, Storzor will be a community-driven, decentralized multi-trader platform designed to fix the negatives that are faced by small to medium-sized sellers and to financially benefit all members. Now, remember I said that, to financially benefit all members. You see, big corporate e-commerce platforms, they charge high fees because they have shareholders banging at the door every quarter looking for their dividends. So they are absolute for-profit companies that have to make as much as possible to pay their shareholders. We are going to do things differently. Storzor is going to create a platform that will financially benefit all members. Now, alongside the Storzor platform, we're going to launch our own cryptocurrency, crypto token, that will become the favorite form of payment and redemption on the Storzor platform over time. Not right away. I'll explain more later. Now, our aim is for Storzor to trade publicly, go IPO within 3 to 5 years, and become a global billion-dollar brand. It's a very tall statement to say that that's our target, but you will see as we progress through this webinar how it will be achieved. Storzor will have a decentralized approach to sellers. We will have the lowest listing fees of all multi-trader platforms and e-commerce platforms online. We will have no final value fees whatsoever. There will be no transaction fees when retailers and sellers transact with us in Storzor coins. There'll be a decentralized seller protection system. There'll be an internal escrow system. There'll be decentralized dispute resolution for members. I'll cover that more soon. There will be copyright protection systems for brand owners, a very, very significant thing. eBay, Amazon, all these multi-trading platforms, they spend a lot of time in the courtroom and a lot of money in the courtroom defending themselves against copyright infringement claims. Well, we at Storzor will put the copyright owner in control of their own brand, allow them to police their own brand on the platform. We will have an improved member feedback system and a happier trading environment overall for sellers. And we will also introduce a platform prepaid credit card that will allow sellers to spend their Storzor coins anywhere they need to that they receive from shoppers on the platform. But just the same as we look after the sellers, we also have to look after the interests of the buyers. And obviously, first of all, the seller listing savings that the sellers will get, they will be able to then be passed on in savings to the buyers as well. When a seller is selling with STZ coins, it will attract higher savings for the customer. If they're selling in STZ coins, they will get more savings. The customer will get more discount. We will also have a decentralized dispute resolution system for the members, the customers. But the most important thing of all is that the social aspect of the Storzor platform. We also will have cashback rewards as the platform progresses. We will invite high street brands to have storefronts on the platform. And in return for exposure to our membership base, we will ask them to offer cashback rewards for holders of the Storzor cards so that they can get cashback every time they use those cards in their store. Now, buyer and seller protection is an absolute big deal. You see, both eBay and Amazon have seller protection in place. Now, if you've ever sold or bought on eBay, preferably if you've sold, you'll understand how this works. Almost all sales disputes always unfairly favor the buyer, especially on eBay. I can't speak for Amazon because I haven't actually sold on Amazon, okay? Over time, consumers have learned to use their credit cards when shopping online for added protection. We all do it. But when a buying dispute doesn't go in the favor of the customer can do a chargeback on their credit card and get their money back anyway. So this makes it wise for any, e-commerce platform to decide in favor of the buyer if they don't want to end up on what I call Visa and MasterCard's blacklist for excessive chargeback. But it's just yet another thorn in the side of independent sellers on the platform. Let me give you an example. A guy, I say this in every webinar, a guy sold 2 antique swords on eBay. Okay, the one was worth £300, one was worth £1,500, I think, and he sold them both £1,800. He sent the swords to the customer received them, and he sent a message back almost instantly to the seller and says, I want to return them. So the seller said, okay, he had a 7-day return policy in place. The customer returned them. The seller answered the door to the courier. He signed for the package. And he opened the package, and what he found was not what he had posted. He opened the box to find one sword, the £300 sword, and a brick, a house brick, a clay brick that you build a house with to increase the weight in the box. The seller contacted PayPal, explained what had happened, but because he had signed for the parcel at the door, signing as if to say it's fine, nobody checks a parcel at the door. Okay, the postman won't even stick around that long for you to check the parcel. But because he'd signed for it, they favoured the customer. The customer got back his £1,800. The seller lost his sword and the money. So a lot of people think that fraud on these platforms happens from the sellers. It's happening more from the buyers these days because they're starting to, know the system. So we will introduce a decentralized member-to-member guarantor system and a decentralized dispute resolution system through a voting system. It'll be a much, much fairer for both buyers and sellers. Now, an example of the guarantor system will be if a trader sells and the consumer purchases, let's say, a handbag for £100. Both the seller and the buyer, let's say, have 5 previous transactions because their feedback score will come into play, depending on the feedback they have, will depend on the guarantor price. So if the guarantor fee was 2%, for example, both the buyer and the seller can take the guarantor, and someone holding STZ coins can stake their coins on the successful completion of the sale. So the Storzor coin holders become the guarantors. And when the sale completes without issue, then the person who has staked their STZ coins will make 2% on their coins for staking their coins. Now, if both buyer and seller have taken a guarantor, then the person staking their coins cannot lose. Now, should a sale not complete successfully, the guarantor has the option to submit the dispute to the community resolution system. And the way that will work is that sellers are very often the victim of fraud, as we've said, and both buyers and sellers will have the option to escalate the dispute and provide supporting evidence. And the community will vote on that, and they'll be incentivized to do so. The winning vote is the end of the dispute, and buyers will agree to that in the terms and conditions when they join the platform. Okay. Now, payments on the Storzor platform are very, very important because 9 out of 10 mainstream consumers are literally oblivious to the existence of blockchain and cryptocurrencies. Many of the people on this call tonight think cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, Litecoin, think they're fantastic, and I do too. But 90% of consumers are oblivious to them. So if we were to have a cryptocurrency as the only form of payment on the platform from launch, then it would dramatically damage Storzor's growth and market penetration. So to maximize market adoption of the platform, Storzor will accept all major debit and credit cards alongside STZ coins. Both buyers and sellers will be incentivized to transact in STZ coins through special offers, discounts, and bonuses, and some platform features will only be available to those who transact in STZ coins. So social circles are a big deal, and I want you to really focus on these because the potential for this in the consumer marketplace is huge. Corporate e-commerce giants pay dividends to their shareholders. We know that, and that's why fee structures on these platforms can be so high. In today's disruptive business environment, we decided it would be better to reward people who are responsible for the platform's success, i.e. the users of the platform. Storzor will reward users for building what we call social circles via our viral phone application. Inviting friends, family, and co-workers to use Storzor, members can earn cash rewards for free. So here's how it will go. You will get the Storzor app on your phone, especially if you're involved in phase 1. Just as a quick side note, phase 1 members will get the app first, phase 2 members will get it second and be connected to phase 1 members. Phase 3 members will get it third, be connected to phase 2 who are connected to phase 1. So at the end of the ICO, you've already got a considerable network, but I'll explain that in a moment. But just by downloading the app, sending it to your friends, then a seller comes on, he wants to sell an item for a listing, he simply adds a listing fee and he adds a commission, which will still be cheaper than any multi-trader platform out there, and that commission is paid into the social circles platform. Every time you've got points in your system on a balance, which will be explained more later, you earn. Now imagine if we became half as big as eBay, how much you could earn from that system. Now, the power of social circles is bigger than you might think, and it's an absolutely free application that consumers can download and use. Storzor, we aim to develop about 10 million members within the first 6 months, and we don't think that that is pie in the sky numbers, because let me show you how this works. We estimate that we will have around 15,000 contributors overall to our crowdfunding ICO in phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. So, as I've explained already, everybody involved in phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 will have the application first. And everybody will understand the benefits of this application. So let's say we have 15,000 people downloading this application day 1. The average is that everybody has around 100 contacts in their phone. But the chart on the right shows the power of the Storzor application only based on 3 degrees of separation, with each contributor inviting just half of their phone contacts. Why will they do that? Well, because every time a new member downloads the application, the first thing that they will see is a video explaining the social circles potential and the income potential that can be made from it simply for free by just downloading the app and inviting their friends. And that will happen every single time a new person downloads the app. So if 15,000 people, if we started with 15,000 contributors and they all invited just 50 people, we would then have 750,000 people who have downloaded the application. But if those 750,000 people then invited 50 contacts in their phone, and we will make it as automated as possible for them to do a lot like Snapchat and WhatsApp and things like that. But we would then, just on this process happening twice or 3 times, there will be 37.5 million consumers have downloaded the Storzor application. 37.5 million consumers, customers, clients, whatever you want to call them, that we can then put in our television marketing campaigns and explain to the sellers out there, we have 37.5 million customers ready and waiting to buy what you're selling, and we are the cheapest platform online. Why are you selling over there when you could be selling here? Now imagine earning a small commission each time 37 million people shop. It might only be pence, but when you multiply that by 37 million people, it's a considerable amount of money. And that's the opportunity. This is just a side benefit of being involved in Storzor at this early stage. Phase 1 members will get the application first, meaning those 37 million people will be after everybody who is in the ICO Storzor in phase 1. Now, we're also going to release a prepaid credit card. Quite simply, the Storzor prepaid card will allow all platform users to spend their STZ coins globally. If any of you have Bitcoin, you might have heard of a card called Exapo. It will be similar to Exapo, only it's going to be green and it's going to say STZ on it. You'll be able to spend your coins wherever you like that accepts Visa and MasterCard. We've been doing a lot of research into how to make this work. And I can tell you, right, banks absolutely detest cryptocurrency. They detest it. Over the last 3 years, I have had 2 bank accounts closed down. One of the banks was First Trust. I think in England, they're known as AIB. I'm not even sure if they're still open over there. And I then went to Santander and they closed that one as well. And the reason they closed it was because I was converting Bitcoin to cash and I was sending the cash to my bank account. And they happened to know the profile of my broker who I was using to convert from Bitcoin to cash, and they closed my account. So post ICO, we potentially run into a number of problems, because when you start raising big money, you start raising big eyebrows. And when you start raising big eyebrows, you're talking FSA, SEC, and it all becomes big problems. So over the last couple of weeks, we've been investigating different ways, and we just thought, you know what? We're going to open our own bank. Now, that might sound like an enormous task in itself, but it's actually not, okay? We are going to open what's called a store of value facility, and we're going to open that in Singapore. And it's really not that hard to do, because we outsource it and we pay a company that does it every single day. And they are also going to take care of a lot of the legals and company, structure stuff to make everything compliant and legal. But by having our own store of value facility in Singapore, we can do pretty much everything that PayPal can do. We will start our own payment processor. So when people come to the platform to buy, they will be registering for a membership on Zorcash. Do you want to know another company out there that have what's called a store of value facility in Singapore? PayPal. That's how they set up their entire system. So this will allow us to easily distribute STZ prepaid cards, because we'll effectively own our own bank and we'll be able to do it. And we will be able to set the rules. As long as we're compliant with all banking law, we will be able to transact a lot easier with the revenue that we raise in the ICO. That is what the platform is going to be. We aim to be one of the biggest e-commerce platforms online within 3 years. And we're going to do this by launching an ICO, an initial coin offering, or I like to also call them a crowdfund. But it is not your usual crowdfund, or an ICO, sorry. In most ICOs, you get coins. You read the white paper, you think, oh, this is a good idea. And you know what, I'm going to gamble on this and I'm going to buy some coins and happy days. And then, but what happens in most of those ICOs is that, the creators take a large portion of the ICO revenue, and in my opinion, a lot of the ICOs out there at the minute are simple money grabs. So what we're going to do is we are going to give coins and company shares, because everybody in phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 will have a vested, serious interest in the success of the company. You will get legitimate corporate share certificates sent to your home address by courier, and you will own a small part of this company. Now, there are 3 phases in the Storzor ICO. Phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. In phase 1, which is right now, our target is to raise £200,000. That's right now. In phase 2, our target is to raise £1 million. In phase 3 will be the official ICO, and our target will be £50 million. And we're going to have a cap of 150 million coins that will be distributed in phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. That's a considerable circulating supply, 150 million. But when you take other coins, you have to look at what makes a coin valuable. Okay, so let's look at Lisk, number 12. Okay, Lisk has a value currently of $9.54, and they've got 114 million coins in circulation. Well, what is the difference between this coin with 114 million in circulation and this coin with 104 million? Surely they've got less in circulation. Surely they would be worth more? No, because look at their volume. 10x has a daily volume of 2.5 million. Lisk has a daily volume of 82 million. Now, remember what I said about eBay charges 8.75% on 60% of their transactions. E-commerce platforms, when they become successful, have millions of transactions per day. Now, Bitcoin has 300,000 transactions a day, and it's currently valued at just over $8,000. And that's not just because of their circulating supply. Bitcoin circulating supply is just over 16 million. It's a number of things that come together. It's how easy the coin is to use, how often it is used, its utility, its circulating supply. So we have a coin already, okay? With this whole idea put together, we have the perfect incubator for a cryptocurrency to thrive, because we'll have high volume through the e-commerce platform, and we will consistently reduce the circulating supply as well. But our daily volume will be quite substantial. So, I think we'll easily achieve a $10 coin, but my target is a $100 coin within 3 to 5 years. From the ICO phase 1 funds, the plan has already been drawn up. The contractors have already been spoken to. And this is how funds from phase 1 ICO, which you will have access to as it happens, as a shareholder in the company, you will be able to see everything that is spent from these funds. You'll be able to check the wallet each day. You'll see the money is mostly still there. If money is spent, it will be listed on a page and it will be said what it was spent on. And your funds will be protected that way and through a number of other ways as well. So 30,000 will be spent on blockchain, coin creation, and the ICO website. 25,000 will be spent on the initial wireframes and technical analysis of the e-commerce platform. And we need these two done before we can write the white paper. And we're going to get somebody who has a much higher academic level than me to write the white paper. We're going to spend 3,000 on that. Video production and media, initially, we will spend $12,000 on that. International domains, we need to register 50 of them. Because remember I said that eBay is registered in 40 global markets. Well, this platform will be ready to go in maybe 20 to 30 different languages, and we'll go international day one. Our main marketing will probably start in English-speaking countries. I'm currency on the brain. Okay, so we're going to allocate $5,000 to the purchasing of new domains, graphic design and copywriting. We're going to allocate $5,000 to that to make sure that the content is well written and grammatically correct, if that's even the right way to say it. International company structuring and incorporation. Now, this is very, very important, okay? The way you create your companies and how you structure them depends on how much tax your corporation will pay. And the more tax a corporation pays, the less shareholders get in dividends. It's as simple as that. So we will create the best company structure possible while still remaining legal and compliant. And we need the right legal team to do that for us. So we're allocating 30,000 for that. Every part of this ICO benefits the next. And for phase 2, we are taking $70,000 of the funds raised in phase 1, and we are putting that into a marketing fund to almost, as much as we possibly can, guarantee the success of phase 2. And with a 70,000 marketing budget, we believe that we will have no problem in raising the phase 2 capital of $1 million. And then we have a contingency fund as well, which will be used for traveling expenses and any meetings or events that we need to hold, like we have a meeting at the end of phase 1. Phase 1 opportunity. This is probably the most important slide for someone who's here in a speculative entrepreneurial capacity. In phase 1, we are giving away 10% of the company. In phase 2, there is 10% of the company being given away, and the same in phase 3. Overall, 30% of Storzor International Limited is being transferred to the participants of phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 of our ICOs. And in phase 1, that 10% will be tied to 26,700 shares in the company. Now, every time you spend £7.50 on STZ tokens or coins, you will get 300 tokens. Now, that means that each token will cost you 2.5 pence per coin. In phase 1, we will distribute 8 million coins. There will be a 10% referral bonus as well. So overall, we will distribute 8.8 million coins, and it will be 26,700 shares plus 10%. Now, if the value of your coins then went to £1, and I don't believe we need to say if, I believe it's a case of when, then your profit would be over 4,000%. So on £1,000, just as an example, it is, in no way, this is a hypothetical example, but on £1,000 contribution, when the coin goes to a £1 value, you would generate £40,000. So that's £39,000 profit. Like I said, 10% of the company profit is allocated to the 26,700 shares, and there's a free share given with every £7.50 spent on tokens, 10% referral bonus. When we had phase 2, coins will cost 5 cents each, and shares will not be given until someone has spent at least £300 on STZ coins. We will probably be accepting Ethereum. I've put this slide on here for later on. The price of Ethereum is fluctuating at the moment. Last week it was $306. Today it's $365. So at the time of phase 2, we will give exact numbers here. And now the return on investment was nearly half what it is for those involved here at phase 1. So when the coin goes to £1 in value, the return would be 1,900%. Or on £1,000 contribution, hypothetically speaking, the return could be £20,000. Half that of what is possible here now in phase 1. But let's not tell them that when we hit phase 2. Now, phase 3 is the official ICO. There is a lot of work to be done between now and phase 3. But our target for phase 3 is no later than June 2018. I hope to do it sooner, but I don't want to, I would rather under promise and over deliver than, promise too much and miss it. So ICOs, I'm sure some of you have taken part in them, and there's hundreds of them out there at the minute. But one of the things that always bugs me about these ICOs is the early contributor discounts and bonuses in the ICOs. If you join in the first 24 hours, you get 40% bonus. If you join in the first 48 hours, you get 10% bonus. That drives me mad, because these are just fear of loss marketing gimmicks designed to raise as much revenue as quickly as possible. So instead of early contributor discounts, we have two simple, very easy to understand ICO options available for all contributors, and the opportunity also to own official company shares. Now, the amount of coins that will be distributed in phase 3 is 103.3 million coins. And option 1 is you can start with as little as £10 and you can buy tokens for 45 pence per coin. And it includes coin only. But every time you spend the equivalent of an Ethereum at the time of the ICO, around £300 right now, 306, you will get an official company share. 152,000 shares will be distributed in phase 3, but a share will only be distributed when a member spends more than the price of an Ethereum. So each 300 will get you 680 STZ coins. Now, if you've noticed, they're paying 45 cents per coin in phase 3. One of the most important things that ICOs never mention is monetary control. Every single banking system in the world has monetary control. And monetary control is simply monitoring and managing the supply and circulating supply of a currency. So a considerable portion of all company profit will be paid into what we call a withdrawal fund for the first 3 years. This fund will be used to buy back as much STZ coin and shares from the market and reduce the circulating supply of STZ. Some of the revenue streams that will be paid into this fund are listing fees that are paid in STZ. Also, listing fees paid in STZ will be withdrawn from the marketplace. So we'll be consistently withdrawing them from the marketplace because sellers will be paying for their listing fees in STZ coins that they receive from customers who were incentivized to use them. Just it all goes round and round. Games revenue, we'll have games on the platform that will be also the revenue will be paid into the withdrawal. Membership fees, 25% of company profit. The company will hold positions at the top of the social circle, so all the revenue from there for the first 3 years will also be paid into the withdrawal fund. Profit from joint ventures that we do with third-party brands who wish to market to our members who have opted in to receive third-party offers, that revenue will be paid in there. Advertising revenue from either Bing or Google AdWords, probably Bing, that'll be paid in there. So the target is to reduce the circulating supply of STZ to under 50 million within 3 to 5 years. So if you lower the circulating supply of a cryptocurrency while increasing its popularity, utility, and volume, you have the perfect incubator, like I said earlier on, for a very, very successful cryptocurrency. And in my opinion, within 3 to 5 years, the price of the coin can increase to anything from $50, $100, $150. It all depends on the success of the platform. But remember those numbers from earlier on. We will have 15,000 people. We estimate about 15,000 contributors who will download the viral application, who will invite 50 people each. We then have 750,000 people. Those 750,000 people invite 50 each. We've got 37.5 million. So this is all being thought about. Each stage of this has been thought about. And, I really think we have the potential here for a very, very valuable cryptocurrency in the next 3 to 5 years. Now, let me give you some hypothetical contribution and financial possibilities. All right. Now, these are no way any guarantees. Okay. Nothing on the slide should be considered as a guarantee of profits or future coin price. Although we will work to control the coin's price, only the market can decide its actual value, and there is absolutely no guarantees. So if you were to just dip your toe in the water with £7.50 of contribution, you would get 300 coins initially. If they were valued at £1, you would make 300 quid. If they go to a tenner, you would make £3,000. If they were valued at 50, you would make 15,000. If they were valued at 100, you would make 30 grand. That is over. This number here is 400,000% return on investment. But even if it goes here, it's 200,000% return on investment. And this, nobody can say this is impossible, because look at Bitcoin. Now, I'm not even going to pretend or try and suggest that what we're doing here is anything like Bitcoin. It's not. It's totally different. Okay? But Bitcoin's utility, popularity, and usage and circulating supply has set its price today. That's what makes it valuable. And with everything we have planned here, these numbers are not pie in the sky numbers, because everything I'm suggesting that can happen here has already happened with previous cryptocurrencies. Now, you might not know this. Some of you will, some of you won't. But everybody who's new here on the platform this evening has earned 100 coins just for attending this webinar. We have allocated 1 million coins to give to people who attend our webinars while we're in phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. 1 million coins. This is the team. And it says pre-ICO team and contractors. It says pre for a very good reason. Daniel McManus. I just spoke to Daniel about an hour ago. Daniel spoke to a friend of his. He showed him their 15-minute short video. And Daniel rang me up. I won't say what the guy said, but it's a 5-figure sum. The guy loves it. Last week we had, I've got a message here. I'm going to try and see what this says. See if it's important. You've been nice one person. Blah, 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 blah. Paul Monks. Good stuff. Okay. Last week we had a very, very, I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, but today a guy has committed a 5-figure sum to this in investment. Last Friday I had 2 people on a webinar. Turns out one of them was a multi-millionaire businessman from the UK. And I was going to cancel the webinar. That would have been a very, very expensive mistake. So Daniel currently is the managing director and CEO. Things are going very, very well. Daniel is an accountant from Essex. He is a damn good accountant, all right, but he is not, a professional in e-commerce. So let me explain that in a moment. Jane, 20 years experience, Jane Council, 20 years experience in retail and 4 years experience in correcting my dyslexic documents. Okay, Jane and I have known each other for quite some time. David Doggett is a fantastic video producer. Okay, they say a picture speaks 1,000 words, while a video speaks 1,000,000 when David makes it. His videos are absolutely fantastic. Kanodi Karuki will be our communities manager. Every ICO, every cryptocurrency has to have its Reddit site, its Steam site, its Bitcoin Talk forum. All those communities that are frequented by a lot of entrepreneurial spirits who will get involved in this. Kanodi will take care of those. Lee Gibson Grant. Lee Gibson Grant is his full name. Lee Gibson is one of our blockchain advisors. Lee Gibson actually bleeds blockchain information. Okay, Lee has a lot going on in Moldova at the moment. He's involved. He's got communication, direct lines into the Moldovan government, the Moldovan central bank, and he's doing a lot of work over there on his own blockchain projects. But Lee is also working with us here in Storzor. Peter Burns is the e-commerce dev team manager. Peter has a team of about 10 people behind him. I mentioned the wireframes and the technical analysis. Well, Peter will be taking care of that so that we have all that information to put into our white paper pre-phase 2. Asim Ashfaq is a genius. He literally talks alien language. He knows blockchain code inside out, and he will be our blockchain and dev team manager. I could show you some of the previous work that Asim has done for previous platforms, but that would be silly because then I would be drawing your attention away to the other platforms. But what he does is fantastic. If I could put it in a better way, what Asim does is the caviar of ICO websites and platforms. Zishan Khan, you have white hat SEO and black hat SEO, and you have grey hat SEO in the middle. Zishan Khan is an absolute expert at grey hat SEO. He kind of jumps the queue of other people. He gets the job done, but he keeps it clean enough that we don't get into trouble. He will get us recognized on all the search engines as we move forward. But I did say, okay, that I'm going to jump to this side. I did say that it's pre-ICO team, because the people now are the best people to get us to a Storzor, to a post-ICO position. However, they are not necessarily the best qualified people to take Storzor to the international market, take it public, take it IPO, make it a global, recognized brand. So post-ICO, when we achieve our targets, when you've got a really, really good idea, that's just a good idea. But when you've got a good idea and £50 million to back it up, that's what you call a result. Okay, so post-ICO, we will hire the best people in the business. We will hire a managing director who is highly experienced in e-commerce. We will hire experienced tech team managers, compliance managers, finance and accounts managers, and every other section of the company that needs to be. We will put the right people in the right seats to get this entire platform concept company where we envision it going. Now, I need to go back a bit. This is a very, very big idea. I put this slide on earlier on, but I actually put it in the wrong place. People say that big ideas are impossible. No idea is too big, okay? Big ideas are not impossible, because even the word impossible says, I'm possible. All we have here is a big idea put into a jigsaw puzzle. We've got the team, that's one of the pieces, okay? We're doing phase 1 of the ICO, that's one of the pieces. Phase 2 and phase 3 are more of the pieces. The people that we hire and recruit post-ICO, the managing director, the legal team, the accountants, every single one of those is just another piece in the jigsaw puzzle. And when we have all those pieces put together, every single person on this webinar, okay, will pat themselves on the back and say, thank God I was on that webinar. It's all about putting it together properly. Simple as that. And I am not going to be arrogant enough to be part of this, okay? I'm going to be like everybody else. I'm going to be a coin holder and a shareholder, okay? Now, the use of the funds is very, very important, because members need to know that what they're investing in is transparent and ethical. So we aim to be one of the biggest and most recognized e-commerce platforms online within 3 years. And we will not achieve this by taking large portions of the ICO funds for personal profit, and we do not plan to do so, because I don't want anybody thinking that we have an ulterior motive to doing this. We don't. I want to create a billion-dollar brand, but I'm just going to sit back and be like everybody else. I'm going to hold coins and shares. All ICO funds will be used to develop, promote, and market the Storzor platform. We will create funds and trusts to put members' contributions beyond taxation, and to put it in a safe, third-party foundation where the people in the foundation have no vested interest in taking the money, just to make sure that your money's secure. So contractors, obviously, staff, service providers, they will be paid their service fees, and company employees, which I may well be, will have paid an average salary, but we will not be taking scores of, Ethereum or Bitcoin from the money raised in the ICO. Everything will be done openly, ethically, transparently, and we will make sure all shareholders have access to regular updates and, all the information that they need to know that this is being done as we promised it would be. First of all, we will start with an ERC20 token. We will write into the ERC token code withdrawal mechanisms that will allow us to withdraw and burn the cryptocurrency moving forward. Like I said, for 3 years, we'll withdraw as much as we can. And then as time progresses, when the platform's live, profitable, and functioning as we want it to, we will convert to our own blockchain. Okay, phase 1, withdrawal of marketing materials. This is very, very important. People, when they attend webinars, they record their screen. They use things like Camtasia and things like that. And some people even put their own, introductions and endings on videos. And we need to make sure that all marketing material is used in a productive way. So prior to shares being distributed at the end of phase 1, we want all marketing material posted by affiliates to be removed from the internet. Because what you don't want is people in phase 2 coming and watching this video and they can hear me telling you that this is the most profitable phase of the ICO, which it is. But we don't want to have any negatives for phase 2. Post phase 1, there will be an event somewhere in the UK. I've got down here the Radisson Blu Hotel in Stansted Airport. That was very, very selfish of me because it's probably one of the hardest places in the UK to get to, but there is one person who it's very, very easy to get to, and that's for me. So we're going to change the location. Seat prices, number of seats are to be confirmed. Ticket price will be £25. The date is to be confirmed, and the time is to be confirmed. Everything is to be confirmed, but at the end of phase 1, we will hold an event in the UK. For anybody not in the UK, we will live stream this event via a Google Hangout so that everybody who's involved in phase 1 can take part. Folks, that is the end of this presentation, okay? What you have here is a multi-billion-dollar idea, and you're sitting right in the first piece of that jigsaw puzzle.